Good morning, YouTube. Louie here, and I'm just going to have a little Sunday ramble. We'll talk a little bit about silver and gold and self-sufficiency, as well as preparing yourself for the future. We'll just start off with a little look at my garden here. It's enclosed in a chicken run to keep all the critters off of it, which is working really, really well, especially when you run the chicken wire down horizontally across the ground. They just won't get in there. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about silver and gold. Now, prices have been depressed lately, and it's hard to say what's going to happen Monday morning when things open up. I've got my worms in this barrel here. So it is hard to say what's going to happen on Monday morning when things open up, when the tariffs go into effect. Say hi to Buddy. It really, the rhetoric has just been off the charts lately. Look at that little cauliflower popping up there. Really off the charts, and very hard to predict what the future holds. But you can bet that the future holds security in silver and gold. More cauliflower. These are cucumbers coming up, and let's see over here. We've got carrots. Carrots are popping up nicely, and those are onions and garlic back there. We've got beets and broccoli and cabbage and some herbs coming up in this garden here. Tomatoes are going to go in today, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, very, very hard to know what's going to happen. Now, we see the stock market has been selling off lately, and looks to me like we're in a dead cat bounce right now. Of course, don't go by me when it comes to predicting the future of the stock market. I've been looking for a crash for quite some time, and it is quite overdue. So it's worthy. Nice little sunrise this morning. Little overcast, 30% chance of rain. But it's a good time to talk about diversification and protection. Now, I think most of my audience is probably in their 40s, but there's all ages of people that watch my videos, from the very young to the very old. And it gets hard to give advice and predictions depending on where you are in your life. But let's just say you're an average viewer and average age viewer, and in your 40s, maybe pushing 50, and you're wondering about the future. Well, I can say the things that I've done to protect myself have worked out very well. Not home runs, right? But some things to consider. Okay, it's a metals stacking channel, and of course you expect me to talk about that. And I've been stacking hard for 10 years. A lot harder in the beginning. The thing is, after you retire, you won't have the available income to stack. So you really need to focus on your stacking when you've got the income. The better your income, the more you can stack. The less your income, obviously, you can't put away as much metals, but you can always put away a little bit. Now, it's important. Look at the lemons coming up there. Self-sufficiency includes food, right? It includes reducing your reliance on the outside world. When you have lower income, you can't stack as much, but you can stack a little bit over time, and that little bit adds up. Now, a lot of people, believe in dollar cost averaging. Okay, that's a good way to go. Or you can try to time the market. Of course, right now, we have silver being the better value compared to gold, because gold has been on a rip. You can't deny that it wasn't that long ago that gold was at 2,000, and a lot of us were thinking, wow, it may stall out here, and then turn around, and it's at 3,000, right? And now pulling back. And likewise, silver was at 20. Okay, you can't forget that silver was at 20, and then 25, and then 35, okay, and now 31. So these things happen in fits and starts, and it's very hard to predict them. But I will say, I would prefer to buy the metal that is out of favor as opposed to the metal that is in favor, especially when the gold-silver ratio is 91. Okay, here is some more advice for you. A way to stack more and protect yourself with something very secure like gold and silver is to conserve the money that you spend. You got a bucket with so much money in it, and very often those buckets are leaky. You're spending more than you should be. When I bought this Toyota SUV, I got the cheapest one I could find. I got this for under 25 grand, brand new, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it's a car that I'll probably drive the rest of my life. Why? Naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, Toyota quality, and I looked for the deals and I bought it when I found the right deal. And now some people are paying $40,000 for the same car. Some people are buying Lincoln Navigators, whatever, because you've convinced yourself that you need something like that. But if you've got money in a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 car and you finance that at 6, 8, 10%, your bucket is leaky. You're not really considering what you could be doing. There's opportunity cost with everything that you buy. And I think that's really worth considering. The same thing goes for your home. One of the biggest mistakes I made was over speculating in real estate. And I got stung with the great financial crisis. And, that home cost me money. Of course, I sold it for about what I paid for it. But, it definitely would have been better had I not over leveraged in real estate. That's one of the reasons I had to work until I was 66, 67 is, a failed real estate investment. So what kind of property do you want? You want something to raise your kids. You want something big enough, but not too big. You want something that has some space around it, hopefully, so you don't have to fight with your neighbors all the time. And perhaps when you can grow some veggies or crops or, raise chickens, whatever you want to do. But just enough house is really a better bet than too much house. And a house a little bit on the outskirts where you're not paying the exorbitant prices is also a good bet. So that's what I settled into here after, my fiasco in real estate. Is just a nice piece of property that we could tend to, that is plenty big for us. And the big house I used to have, by now those people are probably paying $1,000 a month in electricity cost, $500 a month in water. God knows what the gas price is. Utilities here in California are, a major obstacle to property ownership. So, we've got solar on the roof here, and we're very self-sufficient and somewhat protected from the utility companies' excess taxes. That's what I call that. Most of those fees are not for the actual commodity. They're for taxes and regulations. All right, let's talk a little bit about side hustles. Now, of course, anyone can start a YouTube channel. You don't have to be brilliant, and you don't really even have to have any experience. But side hustles can provide, some extra income, some disposable income. Now, you may, you may be good at driving Uber or, flipping things on eBay, for example. You may make something. I like to make silver in my little she shed here. And I sell that. It doesn't pay much, but it is interesting, and provides income. I also make money by flipping coins on eBay. I do that. The most important thing about eBay is to have a store. If you have a store subscription, the fees are not what people are telling you. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Develop a craft that you can create. Oh, got to go get the dog. Develop a craft of your own where you can make things and sell them, or some other side hustle like something on the internet. Create your own website. The website that I feature every morning um, on YouTube was created with GoDaddy, and it wasn't all that expensive, and it was pretty easy to do. So consider a website, whatever your favorite hobby is, whether it's sports or fish or coral reefs or whatever it might be. Consider that kind of a website to draw traffic. Gotta let the dog back in. That would draw traffic and attract advertisers, and you'll have potentially a source of income. So consider that. Take a look at GoDaddy to create your website. The internet community can be monetized in many different ways. Back to the eBay idea, some people pardon me, some people will go to Goodwill or garage sales to pick up not only coins and silverware sets and whatnot, but things that can be sold, old Bibles, cast iron cookware. We're in a throwaway world here, and a lot of the stuff in the Goodwills and at the garage sales are things that will last a lifetime, and people want those things. So I guess it boils down to if you want to protect yourself, what can you do to maximize your income? Of course, don't forget about your day job. That's very important. When it comes to diversification, all right, what should you have? Should you have all your money in silver and gold? No, I don't think so. I don't. Should you have all your money in the stock market? Most people do, but I don't. I have an IRA. But the vast majority of my money is in short-term treasuries and CDs. Yeah, it only pays 4 or 5%, but it's 4 or 5% guaranteed every year, which is a retiree's dream. Okay, if you're shooting for the 10-20% return on the S&P, just realize that you may get that for a few years, and then you may take a 50% drawdown, which you do not want to do when you're in your late 60s. So diversify, have assets in fixed income accounts, have some in the stock market if you choose to do that. I don't at this point. All that cash that I have in my IRA can be redeployed at a moment's notice if we have a major sell-off in the stock market. That'd be the time I would buy into the stock market. Right now, I wouldn't touch it. So yeah, have some money in the markets, fixed income, some stocks, have your silver and gold, and that pile will grow every year. Okay, have other tangible assets that serve you well, that are utilitarian, like a good transportation car, nothing over the top. Buy things in cash when you can. Debt, if we have a major recession, which is looking more and more like we will, debt is the way that people lose everything. That auto loan that you couldn't afford, that 7% mortgage on your McMansion, other things you financed, credit card debt. All right, when we use the credit cards, we got to pay those off right away. If you're in credit card debt, you should not be stacking one silver coin and one gold coin. You should be working everything you can to get out of credit card debt. 20% interest, give me a break. I wish I could make 20% interest on my money, but you don't want to pay that. That'll set you back. So that may mean that you've overextended in some other part of your life, and you got to take a look at that. So diversification in terms of assets that will grow over time, tangible assets, maybe some collector pieces. I like vintage guitars and, other antiques, but keep that small. When it comes to collector coins, I'd suggest you just avoid them, unless you have a way to sell them for retail. If you do have that eBay store, you know, and you're finding stuff at Goodwill and whatnot, then you could sell a coin from time to time once your feedback is good. And then that's fine. Pick a good coin and hold it for whatever period of time, and then flip it on eBay. But all these things can work together to diversify your holdings, strengthen your holdings. This is quite a ramble this morning, and I really didn't know what to make this video about. There's just so much going on, so I thought I'd go back to basics. A lot of the news coming out of the U.S. Mint, there's, you know, penny mania. Doge is, you know, producing quite a few layoffs in the federal sector. Could affect the U.S. Mint, could see layoffs at the U.S. Mint, could see, you know, the end of penny production. But I'd say, you know, like I have many, many times, if you're buying, you know, copper pennies at 4 cents a penny, why aren't you buying nickels that you can get for a nickel that have 75% copper in them? Think ahead. Think ahead 10 years if you can. And clearly, you know, pennies are the story right now, but nickels will be the story. Just like Indian head cents were the story back in the day, and just like the wheat pennies were the story in the day. But people didn't realize it, just like silver dimes in 1964. People with a longer time frame tend to do better. Don't look for get rich quick. Look for the longer time frame and put your nuts away like that good little squirrel. That's why I'm buying boxes of nickels, because, you know, the copper content and some nickel content is going to appreciate when, you know, when commodities get their true value. Right now, commodities are suppressed, and likely will, as fiat grows across the world, everything will be commodity based. If there is going to be a world reset, you can bet it'll be based on commodity prices. Maybe gold, you know, to some extent, oil, copper, silver, uranium, maybe agricultural products. That's the true value in the world. That's what you want to have in the long run, I think. So have some of that too, you know, just put it away and forget about it. And I hope you have a really good Sunday, and hope this wasn't too horrible of a ramble for you guys. But I'm enjoying the morning, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Be sure to get over to bestsilvergolddeals.com if you want to pick up some really good deals on silver and gold. Okay, guys, I'll see you later.